Are you ready to rock and roll? All right, we will call the meeting to order. Kristen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Corbin?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Here.
Commissioner Wallner?
Here.
Commissioner Thill?
Here.
Okay, you have before you this evening's agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no appearances or acknowledgments, is there anything you want to remove from the consent calendar? If not, do we have a motion?
Move to accept the consent calendar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no old business, under new business. Bid number 862, review and award bid, construction of underground electric primary, secondary service, and streetlight circuitry. And Brad, did you want to address that?
Yes, Your Honor. We opened bids here just a couple weeks ago. The apparent low bidder at the time was Fusion Automation out of Grand Forks, North Dakota, with a bid of $299,502.89. Since we hadn't worked with them in the past, we elected to take a week and do some due diligence to determine whether or not they were capable of completing a project of this scope and nature. In that process, it was determined that they did have the capability to move forward with this size of a project and had done work of similar nature and in a similar scope in other areas, and that we would recommend them for award based on that research. You should have in your packet a letter from DGR Engineering detailing the bids that were received and where we are as far as what their estimate was for the project on the construction part. We have gone through and looked at the materials bids for both the transformers and switches, which came in a little bit higher. We elected to go with what's called an amorphous core instead of an iron core for the inside of the transformers, which is more expensive up front, but then it pays back over time by having less loss. The transformers, all those transformers sitting out there humming, are using electricity every day, and quite a bit of it. And so if we can get low loss transformers, we can make that money up back on the backside. So we have a formula we go through, and we chose to get the ones that had a higher upfront cost but a better long-term cost. So that pushed us up a little bit there. The other materials came in a little bit higher, so we're actually going to be right now, without any changes, over budget by a fairly significant amount. I think we had $635,000 originally budgeted for the improvements, and with everything that we tallied up today, and my number's going to be a little bit different than Stan's because we had some probably a little better tally than what Stan had. We're at about $683,000 in total commitment right now. So that would put us over the budget, a fair amount, about $40,000. So in order to make that work, we have kind of anticipated that our prices were a little bit high coming into this. We thought that the engineer's estimate for materials was a little low, so we kind of held back and didn't spend as much money as we could have on like the electric street lighting project that we had planned. Had $111,000 in that, and we decided to scale that back, and we're at about $26,000 in purchases thus far. And so we scaled that back in anticipation that we might go over. We also have the opportunity fund that we could utilize some monies from, and we also have another project that I don't know that we're going to get time to get done, which was a project to try to do some creative load management with the industrial accounts, and I think we had $60,000 in that. Overall, we have over $900,000, right around $900,000 in discretionary budget that we can utilize for projects, and we can manage that money to make this project, the upgrade is a priority, and make this project happen without having any impacts to the rates or anything like that. So my recommendation would be to award the bid to Fusion Automation, and we will work out the budgetary issues by scaling back other projects and make it work.
Questions or comments?
I just have a quick question. I mean, there's a $400,000 discrepancy between two of these.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And it's the one that was real high. I don't know why they bid it quite that high. The next two in line are both, obviously May Construction has done our work in the past, and Arvig is also a big company that does a lot of bidding in the area, and they were feeling that their numbers were reasonable, and I don't know where the other number came from, why it was so much higher, and you never know. in contracting why one person would bid so high and the next one's lower, but it does happen somewhat regular. But, the closeness of the two bottom numbers leads me to believe we got a reasonably good bid. And, again, this is going to be similar to last year's street lighting project on Egan. We're going to have to watch that contractor to make sure we get what we're paying for. And if there's problems, we'll reject the work and make them do it over, like we did on Egan.
Egan Avenue.
So I don't have a problem with that. We'll hold their feet to the fire, and we'll get what the public's deserving for this price.
Other questions or comments? Okay, if not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to award bid number 862 Fusion Automation in the amount of $299,502.89 for construction of underground electric, primary, secondary, service, and streetlight circuitry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no announcements in that, I move.
Just a second.
Yes.
Yeah, either Jerry or Chad will be out keeping an eye on this contractor.
Yeah, Jerry or Chad or myself will have somebody there watching to make sure that they do everything according to the plans and specifications, and that the public is getting what we deserve, and there won't be any shortcuts or anything
Okay.
damaged or whatever on the way. So
Because this is a new outfit, and sometimes when they come in, they like to cut corners if they can, so.
yes, sir. We've looked at done our due diligence, looked at their capabilities, what they've done in the past, and can't find any plausible reason to not accept the bid.
Okay,
I've been involved in that process as well.
I just thought I'd ask the question.
It's
Thank
been
you.
practice to keep an eye on our contractors in the past anyway, so.
And I applaud that. I think that you have to. The best term I can think of is, it's kind of a cliche, but what gets measured gets managed. And if we're out there watching them every day, they'll do what we want them to do. But if you're not there, then you never know. So I think we'll be there every step of the way watching them, probably more so than in the past. And in the past we were fortunate that May Construction had the former superintendent, Dennis Poppin, working for him, who was very conscientious about what was going in the ground and how it was done. So we were very fortunate there. We're probably going to have some of what we saved we'll probably spend, in, if you will, in our own sweat equity at the city, trying to keep up with this contractor maybe a little better.
And the nice thing is May was the next one up in
Yes.
terms of the bid, so, they weren't too far away from
No.
each other. So, okay, with that, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are in executive session.